Hi folks, this is question 9. It's just a circle here to tell us what the radius is and what the centre is, so we're just going to fit it into that formula. HK is the radius, the centre. So x minus 1 squared plus y minus 17 squared is equal to 12 squared. 12 squared is 144, so I can write that straight in. That's this equation of S. So Amina is at the point A8 on the stream, so that's on the circle. So work out, so that is on the circle, so we're just going to sub in A8 into the equation of a circle. So I'm just going to put A in for X and 8 in for Y. So we're going to get A minus 1 squared plus 8 minus 17 squared is equal to 144. Then you have to square out the A minus 1 bracket. So you do A times A, which is A squared. A times minus 1 is minus A. A times minus 1 is minus A. That gives us minus 2A altogether. And minus 1 times minus 1 is plus 1. Now 8 minus 17, that's minus 9. And when you square that, that gives you 81. So plus 81 is equal to 144. Just bring everything to the other side. The 81 and the 1 to the other side. And you get 144 minus 81 minus 1. And you'll get 63 there. Is equal to... just noticing something here. So I squared out the A minus 1. You don't actually square out that here, and the reason is, I'm just going to leave it as it is for a minute. They want the answer in third form, so I'll show you now. We're going to leave it as A minus 1 squared. If I leave it like that, now I can square root both sides. If I square root both sides, get A minus 1 is equal to root 63, which gets it into third form. And just bring the minus 1 to the other side, so you get A is equal to 1 plus root 63, and that's the way they want it. It's in, because it's in third form like that. Now if you did do it like I was doing it there and square it out, you probably get most of them, nearly all the marks anyway, but they want the answer in third form, so that's the way they want you to solve it there. Right, the point 10.6 then is just outside the circle. So if you imagine that point 10.6 there, P10.6, what we're going to do is we're just going to find the distance from the center to that point, so that the distance of that red line there, and then we're going to subtract the radius from it, because if I subtract the radius, that just leaves me with the extra bit that's outside. So it just leaves me with the little bit that's from P to the circle, and that's what we want here. So I'm just going to find the distance from 117 to 10.6. That's the center, and that's the point P. So it's going to be 10 minus 1 squared plus 6 minus 17 squared. And that gives us root 202 in the end, root 202. So like I said before, I'm going to take the radius of the circle in and subtract it from that. So the radius of the circle, we said, told us in the first part, is 12. So I'm just going to do root 202 minus 12. That's the radius. And in the end, they want our answer to the nearest meter. So you should get, you get 2.213 when you round it off there initially. Now they make it a little bit more complicated. Each unit is worth 100 meters. Therefore, if you times that by 100, you get 221.3 meters. And if you round that off to the nearest meter, then it's just 221. Right. B then. So they're talking about a tangent here which is parallel to the y-axis. So the only place it could possibly be is straight down there like that. So that's the line we're talking about. Now, what you have to think about here then is, so it even says here, remember that the radius is 12. So to give you a big hint, so if you think about the radius there is 12. Therefore, if you think about what the x coordinate is, the x coordinate of the center is c. So sorry, is 1. So if you move that across by 12, well then the x coordinate over here has to be 13 something. We don't need to know what the y coordinate is, but we know that this down here has to be 13 because there is 1. Therefore, if that's 13, the equation of that line then is just going to be x is equal to 13. And that's the equation of the line. Everywhere along that line is the x coordinate is 13. That's the way horizontal and vertical lines, the equations of lines work. Right, for the next part then, what we're trying to do here is see what point this is here, because that point has to be the point on the row W that's closest to the point P. That it has to be that point. So we're just going to get the point of intersection of those two lines. Now we know what the line W is already, they told us. So to get that red line, because it's perpendicular, we're going to get the slope of it first, and then we're going to flip it over and change the sign. So the slope of the line W, I'm going to rearrange around that equation a little bit. So minus 3y is equal to minus x plus 9. And if you bring over the minus 3 and divide it, we get y is equal to 1 over 3 x plus well, it'll be minus 3. So I'm just rearranging that into the form y is equal to mx plus c. Yeah, so the slope of that line there is 1 over 3. Therefore, the slope of the line perpendicular to it, or the slope of the line through P that we want, is going to be minus 3. So that's the red line up there. The slope of the red line then has to be minus 3 because we flipped the slope of the line W and changed the sign of it. Now the point 10.6 is on that line as well. So that's going to give us the equation of that line. So that would be y minus 6 is equal to minus 3 times x minus 10. So just simplify this a little bit. So I'm going to take that line and the other one and see what the point of intersection is. So 3x plus y is equal to 36 and x minus 3y is equal to 9. If I multiply the bottom one there by minus 3, it'll make the x coordinates the same. Therefore, we get minus 3x plus 9y is equal to minus 27. X coordinate or x coefficients cancel out. We get 10y is equal to 36 minus 27. Will give us could be 9. So then y is equal to 9 over 10 or 0.9. Then just sub in 0.9 in for y, so 3x plus 0.9 is equal to 36. So 36 minus 0.9 would be 35.1, won't it? And then you're dividing that by 3, so whatever 35.1 divided by 3 is. I'm getting rough answers here, but I think it's right. So 11.7. Yeah, so the point then would be 11.7, 0.9. Right, the last bit then, this takes a little bit of figuring out. First of all, she travels 1200 meters along W from F. Therefore, she's going to just go up 1200 meters up here and stop. So it'll be at that red point there. Then, obviously it's making a right angle triangle, so most people would have been able to see that at least. Now the thing that you have to be, the hardest thing to spot here is that we know that the slope of the line W, the road W, is 1 over 3. So if that's the rise and that's the run, so for every 3 we go across, we're going to go up 1. Therefore I'm going to let the bottom there just be equal to we'll just say 3x, and we'll let up the side be equal to x, because whatever that x is, the bottom has to be 3x. Whatever the rise is, the run has to be 3 times it, and that's what you have to be able to see here. And from that then we can use Pythagoras, so we can do x squared plus 3x squared is equal to 1200 squared. So that's not easy to see obviously, but it's the last part of the question, so we're expecting something more difficult. Right, so we get 10x squared Therefore, if you square root both sides, you get x is equal to 379 we'll just say 0.47. Now just remember as well that that was in meters there, so that 1200 was in meters that we had initially. Therefore, because we're looking for the coordinates on the diagram now, so it's within the diagram really that we're looking at. So if I divide that by 100, then I get 3.79. So I'll just say 3.79 So if I multiply, I know what x is, I need to figure out what 3x is as well. So I'm just going to do 3.79 multiplied by 3. So we get 11.37. Now I know that the point up there was 90 from before. That's the point where you walked from here. So my new coordinate up here, this red one that we're trying to work out, I've set it in now. So to get the x coordinate, I'm going to add on 11.37 onto the x coordinate. So 9 plus 11.37. And then the y coordinate is just going to be what x is. So that's just going to be 3.79. So my coordinate is 9 plus 11.37, and my y coordinate is just going to be 3.79. So that's 20.37. And they did want it to one decimal place, so 20.4, 3.8. That's all for that question.